Right, so today I'm with racecourse dog racing bookmaker Roger Barton. Thanks very much for agreeing to talk to us, Roger. And we're at Romford today.
How do you do, Simon?
I'm very well, thank you. This is pretty easy for you because you've done a fair bit of media stuff before. You've been on the telly, you've been on the radio.
Once or twice.
So you can.
They couldn't find anybody else.
I'm not sure that's not it. Now then, I've been doing a bit of research. You said in 2007, if my research is right, that Betfair and internet bookies would finish you off. 12 years later, you're still here. Do you still think that's going to be how it's?
Well, one thing is for certain, Simon. It hasn't done us any good. Our turnover has dropped radically, and a lot of people bet online. They don't come to the dogs now. You know, years ago, when my father bet, he bet at Clapton and Hackney Wick and places like that. When he bet at Clapton during the war, there was 276 bookmakers. There was up to 30,000 people used to go to the dogs on a Friday or a Saturday night. Vast amounts of people. Now here at Romford we're restricted because we had a health problem some time ago and fire. But now all they're allowed here, because of the restriction, is 100 in the restaurant and maybe 200 in the pavilion and out where the bookmakers are. So we are very restricted how much money we take. But even so, when it's all done, and before we had problems, our turnover was going down weekly. You can say, oh well, it's not what it used to be. Well, it is, and it's still a great sport, and people can come and have a wonderful evening. But because people can bet online, they can bet on Bet365, there's so many betting shops, they can have a bet and take the early prices. As an on-course bookmaker, our trade is terrible to what it used to be. And also, if you have a look, how many dog tracks there used to be? There used to be West Ham, there used to be Clapton, there used to be Hackney Wick. I could go on and on and on and on. They've all gone. Walthamstow, the finest dog track in the country. Nobody ever thought it would close. It was the track. Where is it now? Sold for housing. And I can, as I say, go on and tell you more, which is, it's such a shame people don't go. Why don't they go? One of the reasons why they don't go, because they can sit in their front room and they can bet online and they can have what they like, they can have a beer, they can have a cigarette, they don't have to come to the dogs. But they miss so much not coming to dogs, the excitement. There's nothing better when you're cheering your dog home and it's too clear. Go on, my son! Go on, my son! But you can hear it. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great feeling for the punters. And obviously now and again the bookmakers very quietly, they're not allowed to cheer their winners home. But if they've got in front that wins a few quid, then inwardly they are cheering him home. Go on, my son! Right. So it's great.
Now Romford are investing. They've torn the old stand down, they're building a new one, so it looks like Romford's here to stay. Now all the punters that used to give you a hard time, do they still come, proper dog punters?
Well, that's the $64,000 question. Romford Coral Stadium are investing millions, which is fantastic. Not just for me, but also the Greyhound game, trainers, owners. You know, we want this to live on, it's great. I think that they'll keep investing. Whether we'll get our old customers back remains to be seen. There's got to be a tremendous amount of advertising, getting people here. I personally think we will get 90% of our punters back, but what we've got to do, we've got to somehow, get people that haven't been dog racing, new people, something new to the game. That's what we've got to get, and I think we need advertising excessively, but I think it's there. I mean, there's not another dog track. You'll have to go the other side of the water now to Greyford, but this side of the water there's hardly a dog track, for people to go. And when they've done it all, the amenities will be second to none. So I do, in my heart, and I really hope that they will come back, and I think they will.
Are there any punters that you wish didn't come?
Very good question. Yes, there are punters you find very difficult to beat. They're mostly watching Betfair, they watch the moves, and they wait. Punters of years ago would come in, and there was only 8 races then. They'd come in and they would have a bet in every 8 races. Some of these blighters, they might only come once, or they might only come for 1 bet or 2 bets. If there's a movement in the market, they'll want to be on when it's just coming off the board. Oh, I'm sorry, am I too late? No, but they are very few and far between now.
Are there any that you just say, look, I don't want your business?
No, and I've got one too. I've got a very good client, and he had a 4203 about 2 or 3 months ago. Good bet to lay, and lo and behold, it won. And I said to him, his name's Jordan, nice chap, and I said to him, Jordan, we don't want too many of them, Jordan. I'm here supposed to win. With that, he gave me a bit of abuse, and he actually had to get 5,100 on the night. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen.
I think I know Jordan, a young fella. We interviewed him previously with a surname with a V.
Yes. That's
right,
it, yes.
We'll put his link to his up. Who's the best punter that you have ever known, i.e. best as in beat you on a regular basis? Historically, it could be.
Yeah. A fella called Grant. He still comes. I don't lay him. He's too good for me. But he's very, very good. He studies, he works hard at it. And at one time, when he could, I'm going back 2 or 3 years, he would have thousands on. He would go along the line to all the bookmakers, 3001, 3001, 3001, and 3001. And when I added my books up at the end of the year, I'm afraid to say, I was on the losing side. So I had to give in, I'd say, Grant, you're too good for me. There's nothing wrong in that. That's good, and you have to. If you've got a punter, whether he's getting information or whether he's just an exceptional judge, I'm not there to lose. I've got to pay the staff, and I've also got a family to feed.
Did you come with an opinion?
Yes. Not as much as I used to, because when there was no Betfair, all you had was the Racing Post, and you could then, your opinion would differ from these people. Unfortunately now, when you see a move, even if you think the dog can't win, as an opinionated bookmaker, you think, well, that can't win. Them days are gone.
Yeah.
Money talks all languages.
Now, you're talking about money talks. You've been a very successful man.
I wouldn't exactly say that, but...
Well, you've been successful. You were the King of Billingsgate, and you're also a very successful bookmaker, I'm reliably informed. Which one did you make the most money in?
Very good question. So that's a very good question. The fish market, you win every week. Bookmaking, you don't win every week. You will have your very good weeks, and you will have some very bad weeks.
And what do you think? What is your strong personality? Something that's helped you get on in both of those businesses?
Yes, I definitely think being a bookmaker and also being a fish merchant, you have to have some kind of personality. People are looking for somebody with something. I've got up 5 to 2. The bookmaker's got up 5 to 2 next to me. I've got to lay my 5 to 2 before he lays his. So consequently, you have got a personality. I'll tell you just a very quick thing that happened one day in the fish market. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had a chap called Ronnie working for me. Very, very nice chap. And he was singing away at 2 o'clock in the morning. And there was a chap called David Lucy, who also owned the stand. And as he walked by, I said to him, David, you see how happy the staff are? And he said, so was the galley slaves. Just like that, he never broke his stride, and he kept going. And in both sectors, in bookmaking and the fish business, you always get people who are quick-witted, they love banter, and it's lovely. And if you've got any character, it will bring it out in you. I used to have a Spanish fella come in, and he had a lovely Spanish restaurant in the West End. And he used to come and he'd say, hey, Crook, what's going on, Crook? And that's the way he would greet me. There was nothing personal in it, but you know, you have them things in the fish market. You know, you play cricket together, you play football together, so you become comrades. And in betting, in you know, bookmakers together, 9 times out of 10 you become comrades.
Now, you say you don't always win at the dogs. What was your worst losing day you can remember? Done figures?
Yes, figures. My worst losing day, I think we done 11 grand.
Right, well that brings me nicely on to the next question. You got fined 10 grand by Billingsgate, or something to do with Billingsgate. What hurt the most?
Billingsgate, because I knew here I could get it back. At Billingsgate I couldn't.
So how did you do the 11 grand then? Was it?
I had a fella, he had all his dogs were named after Diesel. It was Diesel. He actually named a dog after me, Diesel Barton. And they told me, they said, now be careful. I'll never forget, it was in Trap 2, in a 575 at Romford. So they said, now be careful, he's been playing with this dog, he's got it right. So I don't know, I didn't listen, like most young people don't. Went 9-2, and then he came and he said, what would you like to lay? I said, a 4,500 to 1, how's that? He said, yes, lovely. So then I put up 7-2, and he said, how much would you like to lay? So I said, 3,500 to 1. He said, lovely. I put up 5-2. He said, now, we've been messing about, how much would you like to lay? So I said, you can have a 5,000 to 2, and that's the end of it, no fucking more. Needless to say, the dog romped home. He walked by the stand, he said, don't worry about paying me now, drop it in the morning. And obviously he wasn't the only person that backed it, and everybody in the track knew about it except me. But there you are, that's life. It did hurt, but tomorrow's another day.
Right, we talked about your character. I've only just met you today, but I can tell that you're a very buoyant sort of person. I've met people previously that used to scare me to death, and then when I met them like this, they're actually really nice and really sort of quite polite. As we see you now, is this as you are, or is some of it a bit of
This is
showmanship?
exactly as I will be on the stall tonight. When there's people there, I say, right, come on, you're after mine and I'm after yours. So stop fucking about and let's get to it. And that's exactly what I do. That's my business. I'm selling myself and I'm selling the business. I've got to take money. That's the name of the game. You've got to take it well, but that's what I'm there for.